a well-organized, structured program in place. They know what museum they're going to. They know what summer program they're going to attend. They know where they're going to go on vacation so they can learn about foreign lands. It's very organized and structured. So when our children get back in school in September, they have a summer loss. Affluent communities get back in school in September, they have a summer enhancement. And so our children are starting out behind instead of starting out ahead of time. And that's why this focus is so important. But it's not going to be just a simple program of summer school. Children must be engaged. And the real classroom is not in the sterilized environment of a building. You know, Chancellor Banks states this all the time. The city is a classroom. Why do our children have to be isolated to the 1 square mile that they're born in? They stay in that 1 square mile. They go to the bodega in 1 square mile. They go to the park in 1 square mile. They stay right in the same place. He has stated for a long time that the city is our classroom. Why can't they go down to Wall Street and ring the bell? Why can't they visit all the museums that your tax dollars are paying for? Why can't they attend a corporate seminar and sit inside? Why can't they go into One Vanderbilt, one of the tallest buildings now in Manhattan, and look out at the entire skyline of New York City to see how life is above ground and not only on the ground? That's what we're talking about. This is what other children have. And when you hear this amazing story of these educators who are committed, going and knocking on doors, bringing supplies, these educators love their children. They love their children. They have not been given the support that they deserve. And that is why it is crucial. I'll never forget my 3rd grade teacher taking me to see Hamlet on Broadway. It inspired the love of Broadway. I was addicted to seeing that live performance. No other child on my block ever went to Broadway at that time. They had no idea what it meant to go to Broadway and see a live performance. It's just not acceptable. And that's what this mission is about today. And so I want to really thank Deputy Mayor Wright for really leaning into this. This was a commitment that she believed in and just put so much energy behind this initiative and how important it is. And just really want to thank her and want to thank Liz and Lysandra for their beautiful words today, because this is what we're talking about. This is what this announcement is all about. It's about families. It's about young people. It is about giving them the proper start in life so they don't have to play catch up. They can start out where everyone else is. And I promised this on my campaign. People laughed at me when I started talking about a full year. I mean, who invented? Why do we do two months off of doing nothing? The audacity to say we should be educated throughout the entire year. They said it was impossible. No one wants to do it. They were wrong, as they have been wrong so many times before when we talk about forward thinking. And now we are embracing a full year of education for our children. And even the children that are not in this specific program, the 110,000 that we're opening to, we're going to have a full engagement of children. We're saying to our museums, you have our tax dollars, you better find ways to get our children inside your museums and go out and encourage them to do so. That museum mall on 5th Avenue can't stay to the people who live on 5th Avenue. You better get inside Brownsville, South Bronx, South Ozone, South Jamaica. I want to see active, creative ways of getting in those communities and encouraging them to come and visit these museums and these great places. So our children grow every day, and we need to take advantage of that. They don't stop growing in June. That's right. This imaginary clock that we stop learning once we finish June. No, they don't. They continue to grow, and it's time for us to catch up. Let's not kid ourselves. There was a 2-year challenging, and in some communities, a substantial learning loss. It's a substantial learning loss for 2 years. Mental health issues, nutritional battles, not having access to educational opportunities for 2 years. So we're not just playing catch up. We're playing how do we exceed where our children are. And so a few weeks ago, we did an amazing announcement. The largest summer youth employment, 100,000 young people will have summer youth employment from 14 to 24. And check out what we're doing. We're not waiting for the children to find the jobs. We're going to have a team go to the homeless shelters and show these young people how to sign up for the jobs. We're going to actively go out and encourage them to get engaged. And I'm going to partner with my team to say every child that goes through summer youth employment and this program here, we're going to teach them also life skills, breathing exercises, meditation, brain development, financial literacy, how to tie a tie, how to dress for success, how to separate the white clothes from the dark clothes so the Clorox and bleach does not destroy them, how to hem your pants, what's the proper way to shave, all of these life skills. We take for granted that children know this automatically. Some of our parents were never given this. So we have to start giving these life skills to our children that they can take throughout life. And that's what these programs must be about. They can't be just cosmetic, symbolic. Okay, we gave someone a summer youth employment, then at the end of the summer, they know nothing about balancing a checkbook, nothing about, how to take care of themselves, to deal with the stress and challenges to do so. It's more than just a counselor for a child. It's brain development and self-care for a lifetime. And this is a bold initiative that we are doing. So today we're announcing our expanded K-8 Summer Rising program. We are supercharging last year's successful program. And this is about taking what's worked and building on it. Your favorite saying. David Banks says all the time, the Chancellor says, it's not about dismantling something because you did not create it. It's about taking what's worked and build on it. And so we're going to take what was successful about Summer Rising and we're going to build on top of that. This year we'll have more hours, including 6 p.m. for middle schoolers, more programming, like including Fridays, and more students. Over 100,000 students in grade K-8, which will make it the largest summer program in our city's history, focusing on our children. Every young person that's participate will get a chance to grow, to learn, to explore their talents. And we need to hear from them as we expand from year to year to year. Ask them, what do you want in the programming? It's because it's not about us. It's saying, how do we keep you engaged? These are bright young people who they have their journals here. Hold up your journals. Let them see your journals. Have their journals here. And it's about asking them, what do you want to see in your program? And how do we make it better? We're going to teach math, science, English, ELA, social studies, led by DOE instructors, but we will also personalize enrichments for each school, programming our students around life experiences and experiencing the great city that we live in, walking through these great parks and stadiums, great places, riding the subway system and seeing the history of the subway system. We want to deal with the increase in hate crime, allow children to cross-pollinate ideas by going to cultures and communities that they know nothing about. Learn why someone wears a hijab, a yarmulke, a kufi. Learn the experience and the rich history in the Chinese community, in the various community, our Caribbean diaspora, the African diaspora, the Jewish community in Williamsburg and in Crown Heights. There's so much our children can learn if we allow them to learn. Children want to learn. All we have to do as adults is get the heck out of the way. All of our baggage, all of our issues, all of our biases is tarnishing these children. They are ready to embrace. And then bringing in our police department, building new relationships. The survey is despicable that our children, particularly black and brown men, don't have a relationship with the law enforcement community so they can go into law enforcement. We got all these walls that have been built, that we segregated this city. And we act like we don't. We got to be honest with ourselves. We are living in a segregated city where it's destroying our children. And we have to stop. And that's what we're committed to doing. And we're going to put parents in the process, engage them. No one does it better than Chancellor Banks. So many of them are struggling during the summer months. When we put their children in a safe space, they can then go on with their lives, employment, training, and getting the life skills and the work skills so they can move up in their jobs as we've rolled out our economic plan. And it's about improving and helping families. And child care should not be one of your issues. Healthy meals, academic and social skills are so important. How to shake someone's hand, how to look at someone's eyes when you're speaking with them, how to sit down, how to use a knife and fork correctly when you're at a meal. These are just important issues. I didn't even know that there was a special fork for salads. You know, I was just embarrassed. Everybody's looking at me because I didn't put my napkin on my lap. Well, who taught me? Who taught us these things? And so this is a win for the entire city. And a huge shout out go to everyone involved, the Department of Youth and Community Development, Chancellor Banks, the Department of Education, the entire team, all of us coming together to make this happen. And my elected officials, I cannot say enough about them, the willingness to be a partner because they see firsthand what these communities and children need to move forward. We're going to push the envelope. And you know, when you push the envelope, you know, I'm going to say this over and over again, you make mistakes sometimes. You don't get it right all the time. Because all we can do is just duplicate programs that are already in place. You know, you don't take chances. You remain on the shores of certainty instead of willing to get in the sea of uncertainty to find new lands. You know, we're going to destroy the anti-Christopher Columbus theory, believing if we stay on one ground, that's a safe place. There's a horizon out there, and our children are going to explore that horizon because we're forward-thinking administration. And that is our focus, and that is our push. And so I thank you for being here with these children and letting them know that they matter. And I'll turn it back over to our amazing Deputy Mayor, and I cannot thank you enough for this program and what you're doing in this area.
Thank you so much, Mayor Adams, for continually challenging us to be bold and to be effective. GSD. So at this moment, I'd like to introduce the New York City Education Chancellor David Banks.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's a great day. I feel this energy out here in this place. First of all, this is a beautiful campus.
Yes, it is.
It's a beautiful campus. When we're done with this press conference, I can't wait. I'm going to go inside and visit with the schools and see some more of the students and see this facility. But it's great outside, I can tell you that. And doesn't it feel good just to be outside? I mean, you saw the mayor as soon as he got here. He took his coat off, headed straight to the basketball court. He got beat by the young lady on the court. But that's all right. That's what it's all about. But it's a great energy. It's a great spirit here, and we thank you all for welcoming all of us here today. And, you know, first of all, I want to acknowledge the principals of this school. You know, I was a principal for 11 years, and I understand that you can't have a great school unless you have a great school leader. And in this school, in this building, they have 3 leaders. And so I just ask that you would stand. Principal Rogal, please, from Bronx Delta. Remain standing. Principal Partridge from the Urban Institute of Mathematics. And Principal Basile from Mott Hall Community School. We salute you. We thank you. There's a reason why we chose this school and this building to be at, in this facility, because your leadership and how you work together exemplifies everything that we're talking about, how we all need to work together. And we thank you and we appreciate you. Thank you very, very much. And there's no better representation of all three of you than all these beautiful young people that you see right here. And the mayor talked about just the potential, the promise, the skill, the ability of each one of them. Lysandra, come back up here again. I want to see you for a second because as she came, the mayor told her, he gave her a little tip, breathe, right? But I said, because when I shook her hand before we started, I said, oh, she's got this. When you see a young person, what grade are you in? Fifth?
Fifth, yes.
Fifth grade, but with a level of poise, a confidence, right, that says, I know who I am. There's a young man, I shook his hand over here. Come here. In the red jacket. Anybody that really wants to wake up, I invite you to meet him and just shake his hand. This young man right here, I mean, it was like, whoa, you got to be ready. But what that says is, that says confidence. People are pouring into them to let them know that they are somebody. And that when they stand up in front of all these adults and all of these cameras, you don't have to be afraid.
That's right.
You remain confident. You know that you are somebody, and you continue to represent. I want to thank both of you so very, very much. And the students here who told me that they're representing student government and the student journalists, who are those folks that are representing the school newspaper? Raise your hand. So you got to make sure that you interview the mayor before he leaves today. And you got two more. So don't let them get away. So two of you get the mayor, and the other two, make sure that you get the deputy mayor, Sheena Wright, because she is a force of nature, and she is the person that is leading all of this work, bringing the DOE, DYCD, all of the community-based organizations around the entire city. She is the person that is leading all that work. Let's give her a big, big round of applause. Thank you so much. And so I'm going to be very, very quick and simply saying this. Our parents, you have no idea how much we love you, we respect you, we're going to continue to partner with you. All of our parents that are out here in the crowd right here today, please, love you. One of the things, we had a meeting the other day with some of the parents, and we talked about the name of the program. We were considering lots of names for this summer program. And we had a lot of different names we were looking at, and many of the parents said, well, Summer Rising was just fine. I mean, as a name, we need to improve the program, but the name was fine. And it's what the mayor and I talk about all the time. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Let's just continue to get better, to get bolder, to make it, just improve it each and every step of the year. And so that's why we're so thrilled. Summer Rising is what we're all about. And so I'm going to take my seat, but I simply want to say and echo the mayor's words earlier today, which I couldn't have stated it any better. Everything that he said was just right on point. The power of possibility for all of our children is just limitless. What they need are for all of us as adults to see those possibilities ourselves and not limit them. You can't be a global citizen of the world with a neighborhood mentality.
That's right.
You've got to get outside of your school, outside of your neighborhood. And we have an opportunity to do that beginning this summer in a very big, bold, bodacious kind of way. And to make sure that all of our children understand that learning doesn't happen simply within the four walls of a school, and to make sure that we're creating all kinds of wonderful opportunities for them. So I'm pleased, thrilled to be working with all of you. Can't wait for the Summer Rising. Let's get it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chancellor Banks. And as you were talking a little stuff about the mayor and his basketball skills, I do want to point out there is a track here. And might want to... Okay. All right. There's a race that is pending, so we shall see. But thank you.
Wait a minute. You all should just know, there was a challenge that was put out a while ago that Sheena Wright and David Banks would have a race.
1 mile.
1 mile race. and it was no doubt who would win that race. But I hurt my leg.
Okay. Thank you, Chancellor. Thank you. And he is still injured, let's just say. Let's just say. The next person I want to introduce, who is, such a tremendous leader. And when we talk about the historic nature of this program, 110,000 young people will be impacted 5 days a week until 6 p.m. It is just historic. 7 weeks. All of that that helped us get to this place is Councilmember Althea Stevens, who has been a leader championing young people. She challenged us to do more, go further, go deeper. Thank you, Councilmember. Could you come up and say a few words?
This is her space here.
Good morning, people. How's everybody doing? This is a joyous occasion. I just want to say thank you to Mr. Mayor, because we have seen each other a lot, because you are investing what we need to invest in, our young people. He is out here doing the work that we should all be doing. I say it all the time. If we're not investing in our young people, what is all of this for? It's about making sure that they become productive citizens of our great city. So thank you, thank you, thank you, because it's so important. Sheena, thank you. Also, because we also understand what you're doing as far as building this collaboration between DOE, Mr. Banks, and DYCD, which we all know sometimes has been a bit clunky and messy, but we are really doing the work of bridging this gap, because it's all to make sure that we are investing in our young people. Last year we had some trials and tribulations, and we are learning from them. I am so happy to hear that we're not throwing out the baby with the bathwater, but we're actually saying we're going to keep the baby and we're going to get some new water. Because often what happens is a new administration comes in and they're like, let's all start from scratch. And who suffers is the young people, the administrators, the providers, because they're all trying to figure out, how do I now fit into what this administration wants? But this administration is coming in and saying, we're going to build together of what's already working and make it, and the things that's not working, we're going to make it work. So that's what we always should be doing, and not saying let's start from scratch, because we don't have time for that. Our kids are already suffering. They've already been through all the issues, and it's not their job to sit here and wait for us to get it done right. We need to be walking and chewing gum at the same time, because that's what they're owed. So I am always going to be here and be a champion for your young people and be the bridge that we need to have. So thank you, young people, for being here today. I'm excited. I know they said to interview the mayor and the deputy mayor, but make sure y'all interview me, because I want to say I knew you before you became big, because that's important. So sign me up for my interview as well. But thank you guys all for being here. We're going to continue to fight for our young people. Anybody who knows me, I always stand for our young people. I always make sure whatever room I step in, I say, how do we look at the young people in this perspective? Have we spoken to them? Have they been asked what they wanted? Because we're old, right? No, they don't. We think we know what they want, but we don't know. We don't know. So we have to make sure we're uplifting their voices, uplifting what they want and their vision. Because the reality of the situation is we need to step out of the way and make space for them, because that's all we're doing. We're developing them so that they can become the next leaders and take all of our positions. So thank you all for being here.
Thank you so much. And really the design of this program was really the hard work of the Department of Education and DYCD. So I want to just give them a round of applause for the tremendous collaboration and really amazing work that they've done. Next up, young people, this is a person you absolutely have to interview. She represents you, your council member, Marjorie Velasquez. I love also the woman power in the council.
Good morning, y'all. It is a beautiful day. The sun's out. I'm feeling the warmth of my community, and it is a great morning. My parents, it's great seeing you here. The tide has changed. We're out of COVID. We're actually here working together. And we're working together in so many different spaces, and we're dismantling systems that don't want to see us working together. We're dismantling systems that want to see us apart and segregated. We're also talking about money. We're talking about money directly coming back to our students. And we're making sure that we're holding folks accountable, but we're holding ourselves accountable as well. Where we can help each other, we will. Andre knows very well that I just said, hey, what do you need? What do our kids need? What do they want to do? Principals know me as well. Superintendent, many Zoom calls, but now it's actually great to see people in person. Yes, I am really this short. Yes, it's true. It is true. I want to take my husband's height, but it's not possible. And what we're saying today, we're going to have equity. This is the first start. And it begins with us. And we're going to do well. This is just the start of what's to come, and it's a great partnership. So thank you, Mayor. We are seeing a lot of each other, but you know what that means? That means we're not out of mind. We're used to out of borough, out of mind, but you know what? The Bronx is going to be better and back. And yes, the Yankees will be playing. Thank you. We are in the Bronx. I just had to say that. And I'm looking forward to the Subway series this summer, and then I encourage to see it with you. So, you know what? Let's get to it, y'all. Let's do the hard work together, and I'm looking forward to being a partner with you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And next up, we have one of our longtime leaders in education, Assemblyman Michael Benedetto.
Good to see you.
Hey, everybody. What a nice day. What a way to begin one's day, to begin a Friday. This is great. Listen, for years I've been coming to this schoolyard. I used to play ball in this schoolyard. This was never here before, okay? But it looks beautiful today. It really does. It's a wonderful facility for kids to play in and to learn and to be comfortable. It's just great, okay? And I actually even taught here at 192 when it was known as 192 back in, well, we won't go back how many years ago. I don't want to confuse anybody any more than it is. I'm confused enough. Mr. Mayor, there's a special fork for salads? Wow. Okay. Listen, up in Albany for years, we have been sending money down to the city. And we're questioning how that money is used. Now we put more money than we've ever sent to the schools in the city of New York, allowing you to have full-time people to deal with children's mental health, allowing fair funding at 100% for every school in the city. We have funded foundation aid, and it's wonderful to see that the money is being used correctly. And Mr. Mayor, I thank you for that. Chancellor, I thank you for that. It wasn't always that way. And it's very glad that it's finally being done. Okay, to our children, we just say, enjoy and grow and learn, okay? Because every day is a chance to learn and to grow, and when you don't, you're wasting it. So I applaud the efforts of our mayor, of our chancellor for what they're doing. May they continue it, and hopefully we'll do the right thing up in Albany to make sure that you guys continue the good you're doing. Everybody, be good.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And last but not least, the Executive Director of Phipps Neighborhood Community, representing all of our community-based organizations who really are the backbone of this work. Thank you, Andre White.
Good morning. How are we feeling?
Great.
So, Chancellor Banks, by the way, you know, I grew up on an island that produces the fastest man in the world and the fastest woman in the world, Shelley and Fraser Price and Usain Bolt. That island is Jamaica. So when you're ready for a race, I'm the man to call. So let me know. Thank you.
His leg is healing.
I'll give you some time. Thank you, Deputy Mayor, and thank you, Mayor Adams and Chancellor Banks, for your commitment to supporting our young people by providing a robust and meaningful summer experience this summer. My name is Andre White. I'm the CEO, proud CEO, and Executive Director at Phipps Neighborhoods right here in the Boogie Down Bronx. We are a social service organization, and we provide children, youth, and families the opportunity they need to thrive by providing wraparound services to the entire family. In a time when New York City families continue to feel the impact from the pandemic, summer programs like this one here at P&J is more vital than ever. Building on the success from last year, when we safely returned to in-person learning, and that was amazing. I'm so thrilled to be here today to amplify and talk about the promise of what a holistic summer model means for the young people of New York City. Through Summer Rising 2.0, as the CEO at Phipps, I'm going to ensure, Mr. Mayor, that every kid in our program gets the opportunity to visit our cultural institutions, our parks, or museum, and I'm going to be on some of those trips myself, while building friendships and making sure that they get the academic support they need to be successful come September. At this Beacon program at P&J, I'm a big fan of STEAM programs, and I think it's very important as we talk about building 21st century skills for young people. We're going to be investing in creating robots, young people building robots, right? They're going to be coding, they're going to be building games, because I think digital literacy is very important, and we want to make sure young people develop those skills and competencies so they could be successful. But most importantly, young people like Alessandra will get the opportunity to build connections with their peers and with their community. And I look forward to a very successful and important summer this year. Thank you so much.
Thank you all so much. And summarizing, here we come. Thank you.
For the Chancellor. Oh,
Get it, girls.
So I have a question for the mayor. First, I loved your speech. It was amazing. So I have a question because you were talking about learning in summer and helping children. What was your favorite subject in school?
oh, great question. The question was, what she stated, if you couldn't hear her, she stated, I love you as the mayor. You are amazing and you are unbelievable. I think that you are adorable, and you're one of the best mayors I've ever known. I don't know if you heard all of that, but she stated, what was my best subject in school? It was writing, and I just finished a book, and I just enjoy creative writing, and I enjoyed it so much, but that was my best subject in school.
Wow. So if you didn't hear, she said, you're the greatest chancellor that we've ever had in the history of New York City. And that was it. No. She asked if I could change one thing for our public schools, what would it be? That's a phenomenal question. I haven't even had any adult journalists ask a question like that. You see what I mean? Out of the mouth of babes. I would just hope that every adult who works with children, whether they are a teacher, a counselor, a school safety officer, a food worker, a nurse, I I would hope and pray that every one of those adults loved the children who go to that school like life itself. That's what I would hope. I think there are some who do. I think there are many who do, but there are some who don't love it quite that much. For some people, it's a job. But if everybody who came into the space to work with young people loved them deeply, there's no walls that we would not knock down. The possibilities for our children would be endless. So that would be the one thing that I would change.
Mr. Mayor.
How are you, Michael?
Good. But there was a rally yesterday at City Hall. Human services workers who are contracted, who work in CBOs, like the ones that are going to be running this program, talking about the fact that many of them still make at or near poverty level wages. And so how do you make the most of a program like this if there are still concerns like that? How does that affect recruiting staff to run this program? And is there going to be investment to improve the salaries of those workers?
And that's a great question. I'm looking forward to sitting down with them. No one has reached out to the office to meet with me to talk about that. And I want to, in the next couple of years, build the culture of talk first before we protest. You know, we should show children how it's about engaging. We have a real challenge. We're dealing with economic crises. The council and my administration, we have to figure out how to balance the budget on our priorities. We have to look at those institutional jobs where people are not paid the adequate salaries that they deserve, and part of the contractual negotiation is what we have to look at. But we also must do what we're doing with the current controller, Brad Lander, and getting the money faster to the nonprofits. That is something we're doing. We're doing real nonprofit reform. The payment is too bureaucratic, too difficult. I'm sure that you acknowledge how long it takes to get the payment to them. That is the partnership we're doing, and to get the dollars to bring up those salaries, because it's very important. You should not have to worry about feeding your children while you're helping children. And that is what our budget director is looking at. How do we, the more we become more efficient, the more we get our corporate entities that we have been meeting with to sponsor some of these programs and to allocate the dollars that are important, the more we align, as the Deputy Mayor Wright is doing, all of our nonprofits together to be focused on the one or two things we want to do each summer, we will have the money we need to increase these salaries. Because we have to make sure we're paying people a salary that's suitable to the work that we're asking them to do. And it's a challenge. It's a challenge, but we need to overcome that challenge.
Okay. Mr. Mayor, can you tell us who will be candidates for this program? Typically, when we think of summer school, we think about it being for children who need some remedial help. Is this that, and is it more? I mean, can any child participate in the program?
You want to get that, David?
No, we traditionally think of summer school as remediation, and for students who've fallen behind and to catch up. We're trying to change the narrative on that. This program is designed for all students, parents who would like for their child to take advantage of a real enrichment program. The first part of the day will be spent on academics. Whether there's some form of remediation that is necessary, we'll do that. And otherwise, there'll be academic acceleration as well. And the latter part of the day, in the afternoon, is essentially where we will be fully engaging the community-based organizations in the enrichment activities. And that's when we really have an opportunity to open up a different kind of experience. One of the exciting things about it, again, is that it's going to run from 8 in the morning until 6 p.m. at night. And that really helps parents, right, who, sometimes even if it ends at 3, that doesn't always work well for a parent who's still at work trying to make arrangements to pick up their child. And so we're going to have busing opportunities as well will be a part of the program, but it's not limited to any specific subset of students. It will be widely available for anyone who seeks to register.
Mayor, on the topic of busing, actually, for Summer Rising, one of the complaints complaints we heard last year about the program was that it was difficult to access for certain students, particularly those with disabilities or those living in shelters, because they didn't have adequate transportation to get to summer rising programs. How are you going to make sure that that changes this summer?
Number one, we have to make sure the transportation is there, and we factor that into the Summer Rising Plus. How we are increasing, and we looked at all of the complaints. The Chancellor, in a series of meetings, he sat down with parents and others and looked at what their complaints were on how do we make the program better. And transportation, you're right, transportation is an issue. We're zeroing in on homeless shelters to find those children who are there, to make sure that they can have access to the programs. Because what's the use of having a great program if children who are really in need are not having access to them? And we have to address those issues that we heard of from the previous years.
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
I know you are a Mets fan. I know you're in the Bronx. But how important is baseball returning now to the city?
Crucial. I'm so glad that the boys this summer coming back. I hope in the next year we start seeing the boys and girls this summer. It's time to allow women to play professional baseball as well. But I'm happy that they are back. And the economics. I was up in the Bronx by Yankee Stadium the other day, and when people look at all of those shops, they depend on the baseball season. There's an entire economy that feeds off of baseball. So you may have millionaires on the field, but you have people who are just basically trying to make it, that are providing the shops, of selling foods in the stands, selling items. So it's very important to come back. All of those businesses around Yankee Stadium and the industry is so important. We're happy to see that they're back playing ball. And we're looking forward, to finally having a season that the Mets is going to be in the World Series.
We've reported that some of your high-ranking staffers have been involved in the Brooklyn district leaders race. So that some of your staffers have been working to challenge David Schwartz, who worked for Andrew Yang, and you're instead pushing for Penny Wendell, who works in your office. Given the problems and issues that are currently facing the city, do you think it's appropriate for the mayor's office to be involving itself?
First of all, I'm not aware of it, and the important is to always have a firewall between politics and governance. We have that. We have an amazing council. We have an amazing team. We have a real firewall between the two. I've made it clear in my Senate office, my borough president office, what people do in their personal lives is up to them, but we would never bring politics into a city hall. And, all of that is noise to me. That noise can get in the way of the mission. You can get caught up in all of this noise that's going around. That is just not urgency. When I walk the streets, mothers are not asking me about, are you supporting a district leader or not? They're saying, what are you doing about my children? And I need to stay focused on the mission. No distraction. Stay focused and grind. No distraction. Stay focused and grind. That's all I'm doing. I'm focused on improving the lives of the families in the city. So I have no idea what that is all about. No one will campaign in City Hall. We're clear on that, and they're going to follow those rules.
Hi. Good morning.
How are you?
How you doing?
Good.
I'm here representing 231 parents that would like to talk to you. So my question is, are you willing to have a meeting with us and talk? We want to look over the data for the masking of children 4 and under. So we're very concerned. We have mothers who are nurses, teachers, psychologists. I mean, we have 231 of them, and we would like a meeting with you.
You can reach out to the Chancellor's staff, but we don't need a meeting to know what I'm going to do. I'm very clear on what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. I made it clear we're going to do this in waves. The first wave is to lift the masking of our children that was K through 12. The second wave, we will go to our children that are for of under 5. That's our second wave. I should not, it would be irresponsible of me to do it all at once. First, when the governor announced that we could lift masking, I said, hold on for New York City because we're dense. Let's hold on. Let's first see the children are coming back to school. When they come back to school, let's see if there's a spike. We did not have a spike. Said, great. We're going to lift starting Monday. We lifted. Now we're going to see after lifting, do we have a spike? If we don't have a spike, we're going to lift for your babies as well. We're going to lift for the children. I don't want my children wearing masks, but I don't want to be irresponsible. I want them taking the mask off. People heard me say this over and over again, but I have medical professionals, and there's a lot of debates on people saying we don't need masks, we do need masks. I hear all of that, but nothing is going to convince me to move at a rapid pace.
To move at a rapid pace, we just want to look over the data because we are the only city in New York that is masking children or under. I could drive 15 minutes up and back to normal. So we just want to talk. We're parents, we're mothers, we're thank you for everything that you've done. But we would just like to, I will definitely send a message and hope to talk to you guys soon. Please know that we're looking for a meeting, everyone. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
They know that everybody's looking for a meeting with me, and so they know that. Hold on, let her finish. Don't interrupt her. Let her finish.
We're the only ones who our kids are still being masked in daycares for about 10 hours. So this is pretty important.
Yes, and let me tell you what else is important. And let's be clear on upstate is not New York. New York is the most densely populated city. And how people do things in a county is different from how it's done here in our county. So we're with you. We want the mask off the children also. So don't interpret it as we want them off. I'm pushing every day. We're going to get to the normality that we want. And as you are a parent, I'm a parent. And we want to do the best for our children. And I have a responsibility as the mayor of this city to make sure that, number one, we don't harm our children, our schools don't close down again, our city does not close down again, and we could do it in a safe manner. We're going to get there. I need for you to trust me. I hear you. I heard you. I met with several parents on this topic. We will get there. We'll get there together. You do, yes, without a doubt, and I think you should. Huh? Okay. No, let's finish this up because they're going to say I bounced before answering these questions.
I actually wanted to follow up on one of the student journalist questions.
Yes.
You said writing was your favorite subject and that you just finished a book. Did you just finish writing a book?
Yeah, I did creative writing. I wrote a book on Healthy at Last, healthy food, healthy diets, and how bad food is connected to some of the misgivings in life. Now, nowhere in the book did I say I ate fish. I only dealt with the healthy food, plant-based food that we have. It's called Healthy at Last. And this is not an advertisement. Because I don't need anybody writing the story. Eric was trying to push his book. I answered the question from the reporter. Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, my colleague wrote a story about a report from the union representing fire inspectors that there was a fire inspector who was supposed to go to the building where the Twin Peaks fire happened but was diverted to inspect restaurants. And I was wondering, were you aware of that policy, and do you think it's a sound policy?
No, I was not aware of it. As soon as we became aware of it, we immediately stopped it from happening. But there's also an important part that was missing from the story. That would not have prevented a fire in that circumstance. They've inspected the external parts. They would not have expected the internal parts about the heater and other things. And so the job of those fire inspectors are for the external parts of the building, inside the hallways or what have you, not the internal parts of the building. But once we learned about the issue, we immediately stated that this is not a practice that we're doing. We understood that there was an emergency, but we should never get out of the way of doing those fire inspections. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.